It is the Wednesday edition of MLB Central. Thrilled to have you with us. Lauren Shahadi, Robert Flores, Mark DeRosa. It is the news, gentlemen. We have been waiting months to give. Robert Flores finally got his Peloton. No, baseball's back. How sweet it is. Zero, it was you who said, go in a room, watch Field of Dreams. Don't come out until there's an agreement. Your reaction to the news?
My reaction is they definitely didn't do that. They didn't do that. It just took a lot longer than it should have. But I understand completely from the player side. Once a player, always a player. A lot of things have to get ironed out behind the scenes to make it work. Tough in a pandemic to make everyone happy. But bottom line is they're going back to work. Spring training starting July 1st. 3 weeks. Everybody gets to see the boys again. Hopefully they can give them a high five or a Nux. But I'm excited for the game to be back for the fans.
Yeah, I think Nux is the way to go, at least for the rest of this season. So the rule changes, D-Row, the universal DH, and then in extra innings, they're gonna start a runner at second, similar to what we saw, or exactly like what we saw with the World Baseball Classic. What do you think about those things?
All right, here's my take. First off, I love the fact that they're going to get really aggressive in changing things up for these 60 games because I feel like some of these things that could be potential sticking points in the 2021 CBA, you can honestly get a nice look at right here. And I don't think there'll even be issues anymore. Universal DH, I'm all in on. I've told you this in the past. I don't want to go to Citi Field and have Jacob deGrom have to get pinch hit for in like the 4th or 5th inning because the bases are loaded and Luis Rojas has got to make a move. So I'm all in on the universal DH. The guy at second base, I got to see it live. I know I saw it in a WBC. I got to see it again. That kind of steals the essence of the game for me a little bit, but I want to see it in real time. You can't have in a 60-game sprint a bunch of extra inning games. You're going to see a ton of relief pitching. I know the 3-batter minimum is still in effect, but I'm cool with all of it. Take a look. This is your opportunity league-wide to kind of take a look at how to advance the game.
It was like the guys on MLB Tonight said last night, nothing about the season is going to be conventional, but it's going to be fast and furious to the end, and it's going to be exciting for all of us to watch and be a part of. In honor of this occasion, gentlemen, thought we'd play a little game of hit and run. Are you ready? I was talking with Meredith Morakovitz yesterday, and I said, are you ready? And she goes, me, everyone's ready. So this question pertains to that. Which team profits most from the delayed season? She was, of course, talking about Hicks and Stanton and Judge all being healthy. So is it the Yankees, the Astros, because the scandal is potentially further from people's mind, the Dodgers with veterans like Jansen and Kershaw rested for a postseason run, or the Angels? This is an interesting question. Dero, we'll start with you.
All right, the Dodgers are going to be an absolute nightmare for everybody. They're so deep and so talented. The Yankees, no doubt, this definitely helps them. But, man, why do I keep going to the Astros? You're talking about a team that showed up to spring training and the world was falling down on them. And the pandemic hits. They're going to get a chance. They're going to get a chance to have a healthy roster, 60-game sprint, and no fans to yell at them. Man, could they put together a quick season and really do something special. They're going to have no outside noise, just the boys in there fighting for each other on that roster. So, God, I'm leaning Astros.
That's interesting. You were at Astros camp, so you got a temperature of the room. So from then to now, that's interesting. Robert, what say you?
I was going to lean Yankees, but after hearing D-Row and the more I thought about it, I think it is the Astros. I mean, in addition to a healthy Justin Verlander and also Zach Greinke, two pitchers that are closer to the end of their career than the beginning and the prime, but also Lance McCullers. I mean, look, there's no way you replace Garrett Cole, but Lance McCullers, he was going to be on an innings restriction, and there's going to be a real question of how they would manage him throughout the season. With a 60-game season, that certainly is not an issue. So, yeah, give me the Astros.
Robert, do you happen to remember one of our co-hosts suggesting that – you're smiling because you know where I'm going with this – that Mike Trout take his season off? Do you remember?
I remember that, and I thought it was the most ridiculous idea I had ever heard.
That came to me sitting outside on the patio in Clifton, New Jersey. I'm like, man. And look what happens. It took the pandemic, but we got Mike Trout, other MVP on the back end of that 30-year deal he signed with the Angels.
Which team has best chance of making the postseason. The Reds, Moustakas and Castellanos, they were already interesting. Add them to the bunch. The young group north of the border in Toronto, the Padres with Machado and Tatis playing another year together. Tommy Pham went to San Diego. Or the White Sox with that young core on the mound and Dallas Keuchel to the mix. D-Row, you first.
This is actually a tough question. The Reds starting rotation makes me want to lean towards them, but I'm going to say to Chicago White Sox, if Lucas Giolito is what he was last year, if he's a true like 1A to go with Keuchel, throw in a little Gio Gonzalez, they sign Edwin Encarnacion, their offense is going to absolutely rake. They could get really nasty, and their time's coming at some point. So I'm going to say the White Sox.
Yeah, I'm going to say the White Sox too. I talked with Lucas Giolito. This was in April, and he could not talk enough about Luis Robert. He was saying he had heard a lot about him. He knew he was good, but he said he is better than I could have imagined. So I can't wait to see what that young core does, and then those pieces that you mentioned, D-Row, what they do over 60.
I bet every single one of those 4 teams goes into the season thinking we have a chance to win this thing, which wouldn't be the case maybe in years past. What's the first thing? By the way, Robert, when have you been to Secaucus last?
I think it was in March. I think maybe like a couple of days after things got shut down to pick up some equipment. So it's been a while.
And everything, D-Row, it's been a while for you.
Oh, last game of the season last year. See you later.
Okay. So what is the first thing we need to do when we return to Secaucus? Are you ready for the options? A, retape D-Row's deep dive open. Why?
Because
he had surgery.
Yeah, I had surgery on my left chest, and the shirt leaves a lot to be desired.
Okay. All right, we want that redone. Take away our show animation is B. We're going to get fired. Buy Amzinger or Razor if you've been watching him on MLB Tonight or The Draft. You will know what I'm talking about. Or refurnish the studio, the couch. See you later. Your D, Robert.
I'm going to say let's start with that couch in there because look, things have certainly changed. We don't know what's on that couch. I think it needs to be fumigated. Not to mention all the that's been trapped in that couch, just from me alone. So yeah, we definitely need to start there.
We need to reshoot the Show's Open. That was a whiff. Sorry. If you want to
fat I look, good Lord.
Yeah, I mean, things have changed. Singer, let him do his thing.
He looks good, by the way.
The first thing I'm doing, Lauren, if we're in the brush tree, is Michelle needs to get on these eyebrows. They're getting out of control.
Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Look at it. I'm having to do my own.
You pluck your eyebrows by yourself?
No, I get like a little.
Wax them.
Well, I mean, yeah, I get them waxed, but yeah, you.
Really?
But yes.
Oh, now.
I mean, I look like Morley Safer.
This is the show, gentlemen. What if we got recliners for the studio this year and all just sat 6 feet apart and just hung out for 3 hours? Or
I'd be
2 hours
asleep.
if Robert has his way.
I'd be asleep by like 8:30.
100%. Robert would nap during the show.
I'm gonna have a tough time with the social distancing thing. I gotta get better at that. I'm a like a hey, how you doing? So.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to tone it down.
Why did you talk like you were?
Hey,
how you doing, huh?
You think I'm not going to talk to Palladino? Pat? Who's on
it's time to go. Not a moment too soon, I might add. We will see you on Friday, and MLB Tonight is on MLB Network at 6 p.m. Eastern. All the latest in the game. Can't wait for the season. Gentlemen, stay safe, take care, and we will see you in a couple days.